Welcome to the Rob, Comrade, and Cale Show. Rob Sanders.
I don't care. My jokes don't go over. I don't care.
Comrade Mike Dobreski.
I don't care. We hate you. I don't care.
And Cale Hall.
This is stupid. Making noises on the show. You're like a crazy person. Why do you do this to your father and I?
The Rob, Comrade, and Cale podcast.
And welcome into the podcast. My name is Rob Sanders. As we come to you as we get closer to the holiday season. My co-host with me this evening, he is the bald man from the upstate. He got kicked out of Santa's Village. He is Cale Hall. Cale, what's up, brother?
Yeah, out of Santa's Village, but here on your podcast tonight, we've got a few picks to make, and we're near the end of the college football season, the regular season. It's kind of a drawn-out ending to the regular season, but my team's not playing in it, so that's probably a good thing.
Well,
mercifully.
There are some rumors out there that the Gamecocks are going to be in a bowl game. I told Cale before we went on the show, I can confidently say that that's probably not going to happen. But if we were going to have a bowl game, it looks like you would be playing Virginia or Virginia Tech. And I think you lose by 3 touchdowns to each one of those teams. Virginia Tech would probably win by 30. I'm just saying. Y'all can't stop the run. Can't stop the run, man. That's just the way that it is.
Virginia Tech is ass. Virginia Tech looked horrible Saturday night. So
Tony wants to know how you get tossed from Santa's Village. It's very simple. He was hitting on Mama Ho-Ho. And that wasn't going to be stood up for there by the man that is the Santa Claus.
I didn't know she was married. I thought it was somebody else. It wasn't my fault.
Ben wants to know, why is Shane not in Columbia recruiting? Because he'd much rather finish up his obligations at the University of Oklahoma. That and the other end of it too is that it's a dead period anyway, so he can't really be recruiting. So, might as well go finish it up. Yeah, Oklahoma doesn't have anything to play for. You're right about that. That's a good point too. Let's thank our sponsor. What's that?
Conference championship game. I mean,
yep. We're going to get into Broccoli's question in just a moment before we get to our picks. But let's take care of our sponsors first. We have the Callaway's Bar and Grill out in West Columbia. Highway 1 diagonal from the Walmart. Be sure to go by and check them out. And Retro Games, ice cold beer. They sponsor our Pick'em contest. The Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. They're also sponsoring our Callaway's Bowl Challenge, which hopefully you'll get in. Ben Simmons, by the way, who's over here running his mouth, 7-foot-tall mofo. He is leading the Pick'em Challenge by, here's the crazy thing, I went 6-1 last week and lost ground. So how does that happen? Well, Ben Simmons goes 7-0. Anyway, we're in the running for a big piece of some cash there. You can do the same thing with our Bowl Pick'em Challenge, and we'll get into that as we get closer to bowl season. Actually, probably have to start that next week. We should have all of the bowls picked up and ready to go here shortly. But anyway, so thanks Callaway's for sponsoring that challenge. Also, from Dennis Wilson, it's like story time with Uncle Kale. That's what I'm going to call it. Story time with Uncle Kale, as we read some wonderful facts for you every Wednesday and Sunday evening. This is courtesy of DNC Trucking and Transport. The story time with Uncle Kale. Kale, read away.
It sucks to be a Gamecock. Clemson won a national title before my team won a bowl game. If we go to a bowl game, Virginia might score 60 on us. We are an epic disaster. The decade of dicking is without a doubt coming for the Gamecocks. We have no chance of beating Clemson. It sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
This message courtesy of Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport. Story time with Uncle Kale. I'm going to have like a bed that is playing like some classical music, and it's going to have an opener saying, story time with Uncle Kale. I like it. Kale's like, fuck, I got to read this shit. All right, let's take Brock's question here. Biggest question is, why is ETN a finalist for the Doak Walker Award, yet Kevin Harris isn't? ETN has had an underwhelming and somewhat disappointing season. So, yeah, with that. What do you think about that, Cale? Why was he not in the why is he not on the Doak Walker list?
I think that probably has a lot to do with the record of the team that he plays on.
Yeah.
When you ever seen a Heisman Trophy go to somebody on a 4-7 team? I mean, it's the same thing.
But he got 1,138 yards rushing against an SEC defense or an SEC schedule. So I posted this on my personal Facebook page the other day, and for some reason, I don't know why, it's like there's a complex with some folks. They think that if you're a Clemson fan, you have to despise all of South Carolina's players, or if you're a South Carolina fan, you have to despise all of Clemson's players. I'm going to break it down for you. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that at all. Kevin Harris is a hell of a back. I mean, you get that many yards, that's impressive as hell. And there is going to be a section of people that are going to be like, well, he did it on a 2-8 team, but
yeah,
I don't give a shit. That's still pretty impressive. I mean, I people talk so much about Luke Doty. If you look at Doty's numbers, they're not really that fucking good. Just saying.
No, I think that everybody was just in love with him because they were so just like fucking out of it with Colin Hill. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was like the alternative. I mean, it was like the first thing, like that big tall drink of water. Everybody just grabs a hold of, because it's something different. Because what you have sucks.
Yeah,
I think that's more or less what that is. He's not that great. He's not very polished. Not to say he can't get better though. I mean, but
I have this though. I think that now he said he's coming back, but if you were going to lose one or the other, and you told me I had to get rid of one as a fan, Doty, have a great day. I'll build around Kevin Harris. I mean, flat out. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's a great running back, and that's one of the tools for South Carolina. Someone mentioned
my favorite one, that run he made, and I know it was on a shitty, fucking meaningless game. Was the run against Georgia there in the first half when he carried a couple of guys and he pretty much willed himself to a damn first down.
Right,
that one. That was a heck of a run.
Yeah, he's the best player on the offensive side of the ball. Cale, I wanted to get your thoughts on this too before we get into our picks. The South Carolina, a couple guys opted out today, including I say opted out, said they're going to the NFL. Cedarius Hutchinson, actually three of them. Cedarius Hutchinson was a fifth-year senior. He could have came back, but he said, "Hey, I'm going to go to the NFL." You also lost Shi Smith, team's leading receiver, and the team's leading tackler in Ernest Jones. Now, on paper, you'd be like, wait a minute, lost the leading receiver, lost the leading tackler. I think that's addition by subtraction, in my opinion. I'm just saying. Your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. That defense is pretty rough. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. But I mean,
Yeah.
Hutchinson, and I mean, is he even NFL caliber? I mean,
I mean, he's a big boy. He started for 3 years for an SEC team, so he'll get some looks. I'm not saying he's going to get playing time, but he'll get some looks. So,
right? I don't know, but
yeah.
the Shy Smith thing. I mean, that hurts because I mean, well, they haven't developed any wide receivers down there. There's nothing. They have absolutely nothing down there as far as receivers.
I mean, they developed Brian Edwards. I mean, you got to give him that.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It just seems like every year it's like they don't even need a bevy of receivers. It's like a trio of guys you go to. I mean, it was either Debo was the featured guy. That was the one who got all the touches. Then last year it's Brian Edwards who gets all the touches. Then this year it's Shy Smith who gets all the touches. It's just like they don't spread it. They don't spread out the receptions. They don't spread out the reps, and it's just like I don't know. It's just like there's nobody able to step up because nobody's developed. I don't know. I'm making sense there.
Yeah, they need what you're saying is they need a second option. Is basically option one is pretty good, but then option two is shit. Is basically what it boils down to. The transfer portal is a place where the Gamecocks could get some help. Eric Gilbert, that supposedly the best tight end ever, if you ask an LSU fan, he's opted out for the rest of the season, and he's probably going to transfer out. That'd be a hell of a pickup for Shane Beamer if he can get that young man to come here.
Yeah, it would. Definitely.
Yeah.
Now look at his stats. He only caught 2 touchdown passes. Is he a Kyle Pitts type hybrid tight end who also is a wide receiver, or is he just your traditional?
No, he's supposed to be like Trask, catch the ball, make big plays, etc. He's supposed to be that kind of tight end. It's from what I've heard. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to judge this kid because he's played at LSU this year and they've been a shithole. So can't really make anything up. What game are you speaking of, Cale?
I don't know. Well, hell, I don't know.
Yeah. Brock says, I thought option 2 was the elite Jalen Brooks. With respect to all of that, if Brooks would have had more time in the beginning of the season, he might have been better, but I don't know. I doubt it. They've been kind of a shithole, man. It's kind of crazy.
He kind of got thrown into the fire there when it was time for him to start playing. So,
all right. Well, let's get some picks in, Cale. Maybe we'll have time to take a couple of phone calls later on. The picks this evening. Here are your Week 14 picks, and we've had to change several of these, and
we had to redo this thing like several times.
Yeah,
it's
been a shithole.
It has. It has. I mean, as soon as we get one set, then boom, somebody else cancels their damn game, so we're scrambling to find another one to put in its place. And then we thought the Virginia Tech game was canceled, and it wasn't fucking canceled. I don't know.
Yep.
I think we get some bad information sometimes.
Yeah, we get bad information. The first game is Coastal Carolina at Troy. Cale, we're gonna let you pick first, Cale. Coastal Carolina at Troy. Coastal is a 15-point favorite in this matchup. Which way are you rolling, Cale?
Now, this is not a hater coming out, but Troy is a team has a decent. I don't say great, but they're decent on defense, and this line has gone down now to 13.5 from where, according to my stuff here, it opened at 8.5. So anyway, I think that Coastal this might be the time that they come out a little bit flat. They don't have a whole lot to impress upon anybody here. They're 10-0. We're ranked number 13. Troy defensively, I think can hold them under the average that they normally be getting. Last week they just crushed South Alabama. Hey, come off of 3 straight losses, but played pretty well last week. Home game for them. I don't know. I'll go on ahead and go with Coastal. I look all the way back, and I know it really doesn't mean anything now, but they got beat by BYU 48-7.
Right.
But this was back in September. But still, that's that transitive property thing there. They lost to App State by 37 points on the road a couple weeks ago. So it looks like they're struggling a little bit with teams of substance. So give me Coastal to cover here.
I think Coastal's still trying to prove something. They want to hopefully have havoc happen, and they're going to want to try to win these games as big as they can so they can get into the eyes of the selection committee as far as possibly getting a New Year's 6 bowl game. Shout out to the folks watching online over there. We appreciate you, Hunter and Brock and Jeff and Brandon and all you guys. Ben, No Neck Hutchinson. That's funny. All right. Anyway, with that, I am taking Coastal, the bad boys from Myrtle Beach. That's what I've got. Even though they're technically in Conway, yeah, give me the bad boys from Myrtle Beach to take that game. I think they win it by 20. By the way, I kind of want to share something with you guys really quick here. This is for our next game, which is, Cal, I'm going to go ahead and let you get our pick for you while I find this. This was something that I played a couple years ago. I wanted to share it with the audience, but go ahead and give us our pick. The Cale Hall special this week is Army-Navy. Cale, what do you got, man?
Okay, what line do you have for that?
The line in the contest is at Army -4.
Army -4. Now, it looks like it's 7.5 in some places right now. But these two, I mean, they always play a close game. Navy's had a rough year. They're 3-6 right now. Right. Army's coming in at 7-2. But
now that we've helped people
go ahead,
customize and save with Liberty Music.
What do you got, Cale? Drop it? Yeah, okay.
Now this game is going to be played at West Point. So I don't know what that's gonna. I don't know how many midshipmen will make the trip to West Point to watch this game. I don't have any idea about that. I know the first game of the season when Army played Middle Tennessee, it was like that was the only game, man, that really felt like a real football game because they had the Corps of Cadets there. So they were socially distanced out, but they were all there in the stadium and made a lot of noise. So looking at the schedules, Army, I know they're 7-2, but they've played just some piss poor teams. I mean, you're talking about they beat up on teams like Middle Tennessee, Abilene Christian, UL Monroe. Meanwhile, Navy is 3-6, but they've been over there losing, tight ball games. It seems like Tulsa and Memphis and the likes of that. So I'm going to go with a little upset here. I'm going to take Navy to cover and maybe get the outright win here against Army. I think that Army is going to have a tough time with a team that's a little bit more seasoned.
Before I make my pick, CBS Sports put this together in 2017, and I wanted to share this because it gets your heart moving a little bit here. Watch this and be entertained. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll really appreciate this. So this is their intro for the 2017 game. Check this out. Cale, I'm sure you remember this. This will get the old heart pumping a little bit here.
From the very beginning, it's always started the same way. For every one of them. Across generations. Across eras. Across history. Over more than a century, they've all waited to get the same word. To get word that they've been chosen. Chosen to sacrifice.
Are you kidding me?
To dedicate.
There's a letter.
To serve.
Dear Mr. Elliott. Dear Mr. E.
Dear Mr. Holden,
You've been selected for a mission.
and authorized to report to the United States Naval Academy.
United States Military Academy.
9th of July, 1960.
1921
On
before
12th
10
July,
a.m.
2001.
Annapolis, Maryland.
West Point, New York. So proud of you, son.
Are you sure about this?
Yeah.
You hear that? Boy's going to be an officer in the United States Army.
Only they know what it feels like to be a different kind of kid. The kind of kid willing to risk life for country.
So many people ask, why would he ever commit to going to this type of an institution?
It's scary as a parent. It's something I think every parent thinks about. But you're proud of them on the other hand, you know?
They're actually giving up a lot of themselves to support and protect everyone else.
How many people can say that that's what a kid decides to do?
It's in his heart, and it has to be in your heart to defend the country.
You can expect to be challenged academically, physically, morally. Your summers basically don't exist.
You miss out on the kids' holiday.
It's not going to be an easy journey.
You have your academics, you have your military duty, and you have football.
Yes, it is just a game, but a game that epitomizes everything they're here for.
It's the only game that everyone's playing in it. They're willing to die for everyone who's watching it.
Since 1890, the Army-Navy game has embodied the timeless commitment of a group of young men and women to the nation and the ideals that both academies serve. War heroes, presidents, and Heisman winners have all graced this stage. Enemies for one day, who know their calling will unite them when they leave the field, just as their stories do wherever in America they began.
Edify, New Jersey. Chicago, Illinois.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Our son is Jackson Dittman.
James Nautical, number 19.
Guy Trainer.
Number 6.
Andrew Wood, number 61.
Go Navy.
Lead Army.
Fort Atkinson is cheering for
Come on, Mark, you got this.
Back to back.
We can do this.
Kick some butt.
Go Army. Eat Navy.
It's the library.
Never forget how it all starts for them. Never forget what it takes to decide as a kid that your life is going to be about more than just yourself.
You're a mother, you're always going to worry.
That's her first one. She carried him around for 40 weeks.
They would do whatever it took to protect our country. It's tough.
Once he decided and thought that this was right for him, I supported him 100%.
He knew it was the place for him. So I really just tried to embrace that.
I'm not going to be selfish. It's the unselfish thing for your kids. You let them go. Gotta let them go.
From the very beginning, it's always started the same way. Across generations, across eras. They've gotten word that they've been chosen to sacrifice, to dedicate, to serve. And they've headed off to West Point and Annapolis. It takes a certain kind of kid to commit to these institutions. Now today in a football game, celebrate the courage of every man and woman to ever make that commitment. For the 118th time, this is Army-Navy.
I tell you what, every time I watch that, it kind of, makes you poke your chest out a little bit. Thought I'd share that this evening.
I felt like I was back in elementary school watching a film.
You know what I felt like? All those young men end up going up there getting the damn Cale Hall haircut. What the hell's that all about?
Yeah, that sucks. I'm telling you.
Anyway, with that, in my opinion, I think that Navy is kind of blah this year. Give me Army to win and cover, even though I'm a former Coast Guardsman, meaning that I was technically part of the Navy. But you know the joke about Coast Guardsmen, right? They joined the Coast Guard because they wanted to join the Navy, but they can't swim. That wasn't really the case with me anyway. But give me Army to cover the 4 points. Our next pick, Oklahoma at West Virginia. Man, these two podunk schools. Oklahoma's here. We put them in because of the Shane Beamer tie-in. Cale, they're a 12-point favorite. Which way you going?
West Virginia has a good defense, and we thought they had a good defense until last week. They kind of got exposed a little bit by Iowa State. Here, they're taking on the team that Iowa State's going to play in the Big 12 championship game, Oklahoma, who's really playing some good football right now. They didn't cover last week against Baylor, but West Virginia, a team that plays much better at home than they do on the road. They got a nice little team, nice little football team, but I don't see them being able to keep this one within 12 points. So I would look to the Oklahoma side here as far as covering.
I'm going to go the opposite way, Cale. I think it's going to be close. They're not going to be burning couches in West Virginia, but I think it'll be close. Give me West Virginia plus the 12, and Shane Beamer will be pacing on the sideline a little bit after in the fourth quarter. I think Oklahoma will pull away, but by 12 points, give West Virginia the cover. Duke's at Florida State. The slate of games sucks so much ass this week that we have a Florida State game in here. And Cale, I think you promised that you weren't trusting Florida State anymore. You were mad as hell the first game of the season with Georgia Tech. Have you changed your thoughts just a little bit? Do you trust Duke to keep it within 3 points?
I do. Florida State hasn't played in weeks. I mean, it's been like a month since they played a game. They were scared to play Clemson, and they were scared to play Virginia, and then they had another one cancel in there too somewhere. I don't know. Yeah. I can't keep up with them with all the opt-outs they've had, all the injuries. 75% of their team is freshmen and sophomores. They're going to be starting all freshmen in the secondary. And I know, Chase Bryce, whatever his name is, he likes to throw the interception, all right? He likes to throw it to the other color jersey a lot. He's got more picks this year than he does touchdown passes. So, he's I can see why he didn't play a whole hell of a lot up there at Clemson. But he might have a little bit of success against this FSU secondary. They're just a shitty fucking team. But I don't know about Duke either. I mean, last week just 0 points, just a total no-show against the Miami Hurricanes. But Florida State's garbage. I'll take Duke.
I think Duke's going to win. I think they'll win outright. Give if this game is played, by the way, I want to make sure we put that out there. There's a good chance Forfeit State may decide to pull out right at Florida State's pullout game is the best in the world. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, they never got anybody pregnant. They
never got anybody pregnant. They're just fucking terrible. Give me Duke plus the 3 points. What's wrong with us? Georgia at Mizzou. Shout out to our friends from the Mazodcast who listened to the show. Georgia's a 13-point favorite in this matchup. This is at Missouri, Cale, up there in Como. What you got for us, Cale? What's your pick?
It's a 13-point favorite. South Carolina looked terrible against Georgia.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know if that's really an indictment on how to do that. I think that they're going to be able to throw a little bit of pressure on Mizzou and shut them down a little bit. It's probably be the best team they've played this year defensively.
On Connor Bedazzle-Sack?
Bedazzled Sack, yes.
Is that his name?
The best team they've played defensively all year long. And I'm interested to see what JT Daniels can get Duke going there through the air. I think they'll probably go more to him through the air because I knew against South Carolina, all they were going to have to do was run the damn ball anyway. Right. They didn't really have to even do anything. But you knew if they needed to use him a lot and throw the ball around, they could have. In which case, the score would have probably tilted more towards the triple digits there. I think they'll throw the ball around on Mizzou a little bit more than what they did at South Carolina. I think Georgia wins this game big. Give me the Bulldogs to cover.
See, I kind of feel the opposite way on this. And the reason being is that there's a piece of me that wants to take Mizzou here. There really is. But Mizzou has to play without their talented linebacker, Nick Bolton, for the first half against Georgia. And if he's out, he's the best. You can make the argument that he's the best player Mizzou has. This guy's going to be playing on Sundays. He is a hell of a player. So since he's out the first half, I want to pick Mizzou, but I think it's going to be too much. Give me the Bulldogs to roll. I think they're going to win by probably – man, I hate to say this. I'm going to talk myself out of it, Cale. See, I'm thinking about it too much because I'm so close in this contest. And just logical thinking says if you're getting 13 points at home as an SEC team, you take it. And you know what? I'm taking Mizzou. There you go, everyone. Live on the show, I'm taking Mizzou. No disrespect to Georgia. That's just a hell of a lot of points. And I like Roundtree. Roundtree is a great running back for Mizzou, and I think he may chew up some clock.
I think Georgia wins something like 35-17. That's just me.
You may be right. You may be right. And then I'll be wrong on Sunday. You come here and you can I'll even play back that clip that I was a dumbass. I don't care on that front. All right. Let's see. Our next pick is North Carolina at Miami. This is probably the game of the weekend. North Carolina is a 3-point favorite on the road at Miami. Cale, what's your pick?
You got North Carolina as a 3-point favorite?
+3. North Carolina's a 3-point favorite at Miami. That's what it's telling me.
They're a 3-point underdog.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They're +3. My bad. They're a 3-point underdog. My fault. Go ahead.
I haven't watched Miami a whole lot this year other than early in the season just because they just have been playing when I haven't been able to watch them. Not as much as North Carolina. I just have a feeling North Carolina wants to spoil something. You know what I mean? And Miami is not going to make it to any ACC championship game, but I think that Sam Howell and company will be able to put some points up on this team. Miami's defense, I know they shut Duke out last week. Congratulations, I guess. This is a different breed of offense here. I think North Carolina's going to be able to move the ball and put some points up on them. I picked them, the road underdog, to take the upset here. Give me the Tar Heels to win on the road at Miami on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I like the Tar Heels too. Miami has De'Aaron King, and he's special, but if it comes down to quarterbacks, I'll take Howell. So give me North Carolina. And they got some good running backs too, by the way. North Carolina does. Virginia Tech, this is the Commonwealth Cup. Justin Fuente is probably going to get fired. It's funny because, he had the streak broke last year where Virginia Tech had won, I think it was 17 in a row in this series. Virginia wins last year, and, man, that meant so much to them. Their fans were crying. It was crazy. You break a 17-game losing streak. They come back this year, and Virginia is getting 3 points on the road at Virginia Tech. Cale, what's your pick?
I think Virginia is just a better team than Virginia Tech is. Virginia Tech looked pretty decent earlier in the season. They were dealing with COVID issues, and they were blowing teams out like NC State. But here lately, ever since that Liberty loss, they've kind of that kind of took something out of them, I think, there a little bit. I think two teams are trending in opposite directions. I think Virginia's defense is going to be good enough and versatile enough to stop the run and take the second straight win in the old Commonwealth Cup after they hadn't won the thing since, 1978 or something like that. It wasn't that. It was like 2003, I think, though. Seriously, I think they get their second straight win here and start the beginnings of the decade of dicking for Virginia Tech are in their infancy here. And so give me Virginia Cavaliers get the straight up win and cover the spread against the Hokies in Blacksburg.
I'm taking Virginia as well. And by the way, since South Carolina is going to get the decade of dicking, maybe Virginia Tech, you guys could go in together and get, DOD shirts and, just get them in Virginia colors for them and, Gamecock colors for you. I think I'm on to something, but give me Virginia to go to get the win.
Shout out on YouTube, Big Dog Brett. How you doing? Says, how's it going, Carolina Jackpot? Big Dog Brett is a Georgia fan. He has a nice little channel over there himself. Go check him out. Brentley Jones said, why did Shane Beamer keep licking his lips in the press conference? He got some fried chicken tenders from Publix, sir, and he was trying to get the juices off of his lips during the meeting.
That's just as viable as anything. Our final game for this week, Southern Cal at UCLA. Southern Cal is a 2-point favorite over UCLA. Are you taking UCLA or Southern Cal, Cale?
I'm going to take UCLA. They've been playing a lot better lately. Actually, hold this season, they opened up with a loss to the Colorado Buffaloes, which, I mean, it's the Buffaloes. So, obviously everybody's going to have to bend over for them. But other than that, I mean, they've been playing some decent football. They gave Oregon a really tough time. I like them. Southern Cal is, they're okay, but they've had to pull out some close victories against some teams that just not very good. They're still undefeated, though. So there's that. But this is a rivalry game. They got to go across town. It's never easy to win in the Rose Bowl. So give me the old Chip Kelly-led Bruins to cover the spread here, quite possibly pull off the upset.
I like Southern Cal. They're undefeated. I know Cale mentioned that. I think they're going to win like 35-20. So give me Southern Cal with the win there. All right, there you go. There's our picks. Cale, someone asked who you wanted for offensive and defensive coordinator. Before we sign off tonight, who do you like there in that matchup, buddy, as far as who you want?
I haven't really thought about it a whole lot. Everybody keeps saying this Riley kid is going to be the one who's going to be the offensive coordinator, most likely. I don't know a whole lot about him. Defensive coordinator, I mean, someone had said something about Charlie Strong coming back to South Carolina. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that happen. I mean, he did some really good things here before. I mean, I think that would be excellent for recruiting if they were able to pull that off. I mean, they're talking about, bringing in Jay Bateman from North Carolina. It's like, I don't know about that. I mean, North Carolina's defense has been ass this year and last year. They gave up a ton of points. I don't know what the deal is there with him, but I don't know if that would be a great hire. So, offensively, I don't know. As long as we get Mike Bobo out of Columbia, I'll be happy with
You
that.
will be happy.
Hopefully, he's not going to be there. And Jay Bateman, I think, came from Army, and they said, "Well, look at this great defense they had at Army." And no, they have a great defense, Sarah, because their offense is their defense at Army. Their offense, their damn other teams' offense off the field. That's why I didn't score any points. I don't think it's because of anything that Jason Bateman did.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're going to take calls for about 10 minutes here. 803-470-2905 if you want to comment and on the show there. Shout out to SEC Dog. It says, give these two knuckleheads a like. Appreciate that, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we do appreciate that.
This knucklehead I need some
I
light.
think I am a knucklehead. I have a pumpkin head. That's what my daughter says. I have a pumpkin head. She's probably right. I ain't going to argue with her on that. By the way, I didn't catch the final because I was actually working, but Clemson basketball team played today. And from what I gather, I hear they beat the shit out of some team of Maryland. Yeah, let's see here. Is that what happened?
Beat them 16 points.
Yeah, they were up 20 at the half there at some point. Yeah, they won.
Maryland evidently. I studied up on them a little bit. They were really good last year before the season kind of went kaput there at the end. But they lost a lot of senior players. So and it looks like they only tend to really get focused up when they play Final Four teams.
Yeah.
So I think they may have been overlooking Clemson a little bit because they just weren't focused.
That's true. South Carolina's supposed to play Wofford tomorrow. That game's been canceled.
It was just Maryland being shitty.
Maryland being shitty. Thank you for that. Anyway, South Carolina's supposed to play Wofford tomorrow, but that game has been called off due to COVID restrictions or COVID something or another. You know what? I want to put something out there really quick before we leave. Folks asking where Comrade is. Comrade has decided he doesn't want to be on the show anymore. So he's just, we had a good run together, but he decided that he just doesn't want to do the show anymore. So it's just going to be Jackpot and myself here.
Yeah, or you can think of this as like when Suzanne Summers left Three's Company, and so we got to go out. We got to go out and find another. We might not find another Chrissy. We might find a Terry.
But
That's
there's
gay. But anyway,
that we can do now. There can be different, and of course we appreciate Mike for the stuff that he did for the show. But
shout out over on YouTube, the Arkansas fan #1 says he's the first Arkansas fan in the house. What's up, Carolina Jackpot? I'm the only one thing to say to you, sir. Yes, sir.
What is it that the Mazodcast was saying about Arkansas the other day? Fuck,
they were making fun. I don't know. They were making fun of that coach. They said he was a fat pig. What they had something last week. What did they say? He looked like Ron White, only sober or something.
Yeah, he looked like Ron White, sober and fatter. I was like, wait, what? What the fuck did that happen? Anyway, but I wanted to make sure we put that out there. We appreciate that. Like Mike and I started this ourselves, and then we added Jackpot to the mix, and Mike just decided he wanted to move on. I think Mike wants to do some baseball podcasts too, and we want to do more football stuff, and we'll do basketball, we'll do baseball stuff too. But Comrade is a really big baseball nerd, so
a baseball podcast.
Yeah. Make sure you follow the Comrade at the pesky pole.
Delta 900 said at least it wasn't Ron Jeremy, hornier and fatter. That would be me.
Are you Ron Jeremy? Are you a fatter Ron Jeremy?
Hornier and fatter, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't need to know the first part, but
I don't even know anything about that shit. Sorry.
Somebody said Sam the Seed says the female kicker needs a new job. She did. She went back to her other job. Fucking Golia. Well, I mean, I don't claim to be an expert on soccer by any means. I've really watched very little of it. But the goalkeeper in soccer, they don't use their feet a whole hell of a lot, do they? I mean, isn't that pretty much?
They kick off. They kick when they have like the goal kicks. They kick off. So I mean, yeah. If you're talking about the young lady that's kicking for Vanderbilt, they showed some shots of her booting a soccer ball. She knocked the piss out of that soccer ball. So
I don't know. I mean, it must have
I don't know.
From what I've heard, what Walt on WCCP up here in Greenville / Clemson, South Kakalaki was saying her long on field goals that she could hit was 38 yards.
Well, I mean, I don't know. The average college kicker, though, if you think about it, if they're pretty much, I like to think that they're a lock from 45 and down. So maybe she's on the lower end of it. Hell, I don't know. The thing is that Vanderbilt didn't have a fucking kicker, so she went out there and kicked for him. Their coach made the decision. Good for him.
Yeah, well, I guess neither one of them are around.
No, Spartacus, the bringer of rain over here, they don't have soccer at Vanderbilt for men. So that's like a lot of people have said that they don't have a soccer team. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter because I don't think she's going to get a chance.
Kickoff went maybe 20 yards. Dude, that kickoff almost went fucking backwards.
Right. Well, and I'm not trying to defend her here, but the reality is that they set that up for for her to kick that way. Arkansas fan 1 just posted something. Cale, would you like to read that, please?
What's that?
Read what Arkansas fan 1 posted.
He said something about. Hold on. He said
I just put it. Yeah, there you go.
That her ass got in the way of her leg.
The anatomy on that doesn't work. I don't get
No,
it.
it doesn't. Does she have a front butt?
What? I got nothing. I don't know what the hell are you talking about, Arkansas fan. Yeah, that's funny.
She have a fupa?
How do you have a front ass? What the hell? That as the Mazodcast would say, fuck Arkansas. What the hell's wrong with you Arkansas people? Anyway, so since we a couple of little things we're going to try to do that's new, we're going to try to have some more guests on. And I was going to ask Cale, and since I've got Cale here, we can ask him now. I'd like to do some watch-along stuff, Cale. Like
Philly fan, you say, okay, first off, you're like, she does have a nice ass and nice legs. All right, dude. I mean, you're gonna start stroking it over there on us real quick. I mean, what the fuck, Start watching dirty movies.
No shit.
We see what you're about. Anyway, what now, Rob?
I was saying that I want to have some guests, and I'd like to do some watch-along stuff, like if you're available, the South Carolina Clemson basketball game in a week or so, and have the two of us go on with that. That could be funny because from what I've seen from Clemson and what I've seen from South Carolina, no good. No good.
Well, now you can't. You can't. South Carolina. You can't. South Carolina is one of these damn smoke and mirrors teams. They do this every year. They'll play like shit against some nobody teams, and then you turn around, they're beating Virginia on the road or doing something like that. So I wouldn't speak too soon. Wouldn't speak too soon.
Either way, so that should be fun. But
Juan says, "What do you think of Frank Martin's hairstyle?" I like
it. Cale and Frank Martin both look like dicks with ears.
I look like a dick with ears. He is a dick with ears.
Oh no. Anyway, so that's what we're going to try to do, and we'll keep you up to date. So appreciate you guys checking us out. We'll be back at it on Sunday night. And, of course, we'll have our reactions to the picks and everything else. And with that, Cale, I think we're done, man.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. I'll see y'all later.